UFC Vegas 60, UFC Fight Night Vegas, Sandhagan versus Song takes place this weekend, and I'm going to go through the full card breakdown and in detail predictions, starting with the early prelim opener of Nicolas versus Cameron Van Camp. I think this is an interesting one to start off the card. The best card, let's be real. Overall, this card's not the best, but it's going to be a decent, good card. I'm going to be going with Cameron Van Camp here over Nicolas Mata. I think Nicolas Mata is just not that good. Like, I know losing to Jim Miller's not looking too bad, but he got KO'd badly by Jim Miller, and it's just not a good look. It's just not really a good look. If I were you, like, he's just not that good. Like, he was supposed to fight Cameron Van Camp back in a year ago. By the time this fight happens, almost a year ago exactly. And yeah, I think Cameron Van Camp wins. I think he's good. Yeah, he lost Andre Fialho, but he took that on very short notice. I think, did he? No, I think they both did. They both had that last minute on the card just put on there. Well, it was both short notice for both Fialho and Van Camp, but he did all right against Fialho. Cracked Fialho here and there. I know that's not aging too well since Jake Matthews just put him away. But to where Fialho was at the time, not bad. And he got knocked out badly by Fialho, but he was cracking Fialho here and then. I think he'll knock out Nicolas Mata early in the first round. I think Mata, all he needs is a KO, and I don't think it'll work. Fialho, I think Fialho has much more power. And if anyone's going to grapple, it's going to be Van Camp. So, if anything there, he has that. He has plan B. If anything, I think he'll go out there and KO Nicolas Mata in the first round. Plus, I think he has a reach advantage here as well. And he's a massive underdog. What are those odds? How are they picking Mata? They're both 29, 6'2", 5'9", 4-inch reach advantage. Van Camp gets it done. Moving on up the card, Tony Gravely versus Javid Bashara. Javid Bashara, I think he's very good. I think he's a very good fighter. Tony Gravely's good, and he is that guy where it's like maybe he could beat you and maybe he couldn't. Like, yeah, like he put away Johnny Munoz Jr. and he beat Simon Oliveira, but he can't really beat the guys like Nate Maness, and Brett Johns of the division. I know Brett Johns ain't here anymore, but he can't really beat Nate Maness. I think Javid Basharat's a little bit too good. Better than Johnny Munoz Jr. I think Simon Oliveira against Tony Gravely wasn't the greatest. Let's be real. I mean, I don't think he was the greatest. Just kept going for a guillotine. And Gravely out-grappled him. And then he knocked out Johnny Munoz Jr., who just had no chin. Let's be real in that fight. He beat Anthony Burchak and Geraldo de Freitas. But he made that fight close against de Freitas. Very close, couldn't finish him. And Burchak is just an old veteran. And he did drop Maness at the end of the first round. But he eventually got KO'd, and I think this will be a decision win, 29-28. I don't know why I'm not Nate Maness' page. I think Javid Basharat's good. He looks very good against Trevin Jones, so I don't see him getting KO'd. I think Jones might have more power than Tony Gravely, so I don't see him getting KO'd. And I think we'll get out-grappled, and I think, if anything, Gravely's going to out-grapple him, and it'll be a stand-up fight. Basharat defends the takedowns and just kind of out-jabs Tony Gravely and just pisses him off, and just frustrates him the whole fight through. So I'm going to go 29-28. Javid Basharat, I think he's good. He beat Oran Kalan, who's, let's be real. Oran Kalan's just the most padded fighter. Let's be real. He has a padded record. And that wasn't really a great win there, but I think he'll go out there and beat Gravely. 29-28 decision win. Moving on up the card, I like Javid Basharat there as well. Maria Agapova versus Julian Robertson. Julian Robertson, I think, can win this. Agapova, I just can't pick her. I just can't. She looked very bad against Marina Rose. When she lost to Shayna Dobson, no, it was kind of like, alright. Maybe she was just a little bit too cocky in there. Too overconfident. And then when she went against Sabina Mazo, it was kind of like, all right, she's good. Let's see who she fights next. And she was signed to fight Marina Moroz. I was like, all right, she's gonna beat Moroz. Long layoff from Moroz. And then she looks terrible. She looks absolutely terrible against Moroz and kind of gasses herself out. And Shane Dobson ain't bad. That's not a good look. And Tracy Cortez beat her as well, which isn't bad, but Sabina Mazo is not that good. Same with Hannah Cyphers. Julian Robertson is going to do the same thing. If Marina Moroz is taking you back, landing shots, full mount here and there, landing shots, same with Shayna Dobson. Julian Robertson is going to do that as well. Julian Robertson's not that good. She just isn't the greatest. But she beat Priscilla Cachoeira, who I think is doing pretty well for herself now. Yeah, she beat Lipsky. I forgot about. Yeah, she beat Ariane Lipsky and Yi Young Kim. And where she arguably lost to Kim, but in that little big streak of hers, Julian Robertson beat her, and that's a good win. Now, yeah, she did lose to JJ Aldrich, but she made that competitive. JJ Aldrich, she made that competitive here and there, and the Maverick fight she made competitive as well. And I think she'll go out there and win it. I don't see Agapova out grappling her. I think Robertson, I'm going to trust to get this one done. Rear naked choke, round 2. Moving on up the card, even on the feet. Agapova can do something there, but I think Robertson will heavy grapple her. I think Robertson will heavy grapple her and gas herself out, or gas Agapova out. Moving on up the card, Trey Ogden versus Daniel Zahuber. Daniel Zahuber, this guy's good. I've seen this guy's fights. Great striking. 23 years old, golden boy. That nickname was from Edwin Shabazian, and that didn't really age too well. So let's see if the Golden Boy Part 2 can get this one. He beat Lucas Almeida, which is an underrated win, because Almeida that was a good fight. He kind of won the last 2 rounds of that fight. I think I rewatched that like 2 days ago or something like that. He won the last 2 rounds against Lucas Almeida, and Almeida kind of won early, and it was a close fight. And Almeida said, Dana White said, Almeida, if you win a fight, in the meantime, we'll sign you in the UFC, and he did so, and he came in the UFC and beat Mike Trezano, and now scheduled to fight someone, Zabair Tukagov, I think he's fighting now, at UFC 280, and that's good for Daniel Zahuber to beat him, and this is a free win here in Trey Ogden. I don't think Trey Ogden's that good. He did beat JJ Oktanovich, but he did lose to Jordan Levitt, which isn't a good look. Like, a lot of people think he won that fight. I think Levitt could win that, but that was a pretty close fight. I think Levitt kind of won that clear, to be honest with you. And Daniel Zahuber, I think, will outstrike him here. Get a good victory and get it done. 30-27 decision win. Just sculling, I think he'll just skull Trey Ogden for 3 rounds. Don't rush for a finish. I think he'll keep it safe for his debut. Moving on up the card. This is a huge card. Jeez. Lima Lookboom versus Denise Gomez. Denise Gomez will lose. I don't know why a lot of people are picking her, man. I just don't trust these females coming into the UFC with their debuts, especially short notice. I don't think she'll go out there and win. Yeah, I just don't see it going well for Denise Gomez. Like, she's 22 years old, 5'2". She's just not going to win. I'm going to go Lima Lookboom here. But Lima Lookboom. She makes it close sometimes in her fights. Like, against Sam Hughes, she won clear, and that's looking well. That is aging well. But she just does make it a little bit close here and there. Lima Lookboom. Like, I thought she should have won against Lupita Godinez. I think she should have won that fight, and that's not really aging too well, but Sam Hughes is aging well. That's an aging well win. Sam Hughes is looking good. Jinyu Frey is doing alright as well. She did lose to Angela Hill. That was back then. She took on short notice. Or Angela Hill took down short notice. I just think she'll go out there and beat Denise Gomez. Denise Gomez is good. 11-5. She didn't look impressive on the Contender Series. Like, I just don't think she'll go out there and win. And I think Lima Lookboom gets a 29-28 decision, clinching against the cage, and gets the job done. Denise Gomez might have a reach advantage, though. 6'3", yeah. 63 inch, 1 inch, but I think Denise Gomez will lose. Can't trust her. Don't know why people are picking her. And the odds are huge for Lima. Why are people picking her? I don't get it. Moving on up the card. Aspen Ladd versus Sarah McMahon. Sarah McMahon is old, and she's 41. And she is 41 years old. She's so old. Aspen Ladd is this is a risky one. I just don't think Aspen Ladd really cares anymore. She didn't look great against Raquel Pennington. And I know she won a round of that fight and looked alright in the third round, but she lost the first 2 rounds, and Norma Dumont just looked good last weekend against Danielle Wolf. I'm gonna go with Sarah McMahon. I think I'm gonna trust her. She looked good against Carol Rosa, who's very good in that division. Looked very good in that fight. Yeah, she lost to Juliana Pena, but Pena beat Nunes, so that's not really a bad loss. But yeah, she kind of cast down that one. So unless Aspen Ladd, like maybe in a 5-rounder, if it ever were to be, jeez, this world. If this was like a later, if this was a 5-rounder, I would lean Aspen Ladd because it's just better to get out Sarah McMahon out of there in the later rounds. But it's 3 rounds. I think McMahon will win the first round, win the second round, but start to slow down. Third round will be Aspen Ladd. 29-28, Sarah McMahon, but risky as hell. On the feet, McMahon, I'd say, as well, because Aspen Ladd can't fight on the feet. 27-41, jeez, 41-27. Aspen can win, but I think Sarah McMahon probably gets it done. And yeah, even height, even reach. Moving on up the card. Trevin Giles versus Louis Coskey. Trevin Giles. So I think this is a safe pick here. Louis Coskey is not that good. And yeah, he lost to Sasha Paletnikov 2 years ago. Coming into 2 years ago now. So that ain't a good look. You know. Sasha Paletnikov is losing outside the UFC. I think he got cut since then. I'll look at Sasha Paletnikov's fight. Yeah, just not a good look. He lost Olympic Sanganay after that. Rami's Bright match. Beat some guy outside the regional scenes in Kyron Bowen and Joshua Jones by split decision, but then just lost his last one at XMMA to Tanner Serracano. I mean, I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but that ain't a good look for Louis Coskey. And he beat Victor Arena, but it's just not good. He hasn't been in there in a while. Trevin Giles fought at the beginning of this year against Michael Morales, who's looking good. And I know he lost to Michael Morales, but he was looking alright in that fight. He dropped Morales early on. You can maybe say it was UFC jitters in the debut for Michael Morales, but was looking alright. Michael Morales is not bad. That's not bad. And he lost to Dricus Duplessis, but Duplessis might do this. What Duplessis did to Giles, he might do to Darren Till. So, yeah. And he beat Roman Dolidze. Arguably lost that fight, though, and James Krause. And it isn't a good look for Giles, but he did lose to Mearshart and Cummings, but those guys are vets, especially Cummings. And he beat Bevon Lewis, and I think he'll do the same thing to Coskey, what he did to Bevon Lewis, and get the job done over Louis Coskey. He's just not that good. What are the odds? Giles better be a heavy favorite. Only a minus 205. Coskey's not that good. Whatever though, I think he'll get it done. First round KO. Moving on up the card. Damon Jackson versus Patsabatini. This is a long card. Jeez, man, this is a very long card. Patsabatini will beat Damon Jackson. Damon Jackson's alright. I think he's quite underrated. But then again, he didn't look great against Daniel Aguirre. He didn't look great in that fight. Didn't look great whatsoever. And I've kind of been noticing, other than the Charles Rosa fight, A lot of people have been taking this fight on short notice. Like, not his fault, I understand, but Kamala Kirk took that on short notice. It was between Joshua Kaliba. Then Daniel Argueta Damon Jackson was supposed to fight Derek Minner. And Daniel Argueta again took that on short notice. And he didn't look great against Argueta. Like, he gave up position on the ground a couple of times, won the fight here and there, and he did win the fight. But he did beat Kwamala Kirk, which is good, but Charles Rosa's not that great. He made that fight competitive here and there. And Tapuria just ended him, just put him out cold. And Mirsad Bektik was just out grappling him before losing with guillotine. So unless Damon Jackson has some crazy sub off bottom, I don't see him winning this one. I think Damon Jackson's 34 years old, getting older here and there. Patsabatini, 31, still a little bit younger, still a little bit in his prime. I'm gonna trust him to go out there and beat Damon Jackson, get the job done. We'll see though. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Patsabatini getting this one done. He's on a roll right now. He beat Tucker Lutz, beat TJ Laramie, Jamal Emmers, the heel hook there, which was good. Tristan Connolly, he's good. I'm gonna pick him to win this one by decision. Moving on the card to the main card, or not the main card, not yet. Dude, this card's long. Okay. Anthony Hernandez versus Marc-Andre Barrios. Hernandez, I think, could use his cardio and pace to get this one done. Marc-Andre is good. He's alright. He is alright. He did beat Jordan Wright, but Jordan Wright is just not that good, son. He's just not that good, Jordan Wright. Jordan Wright's not that good. Which I think people should take that into consideration. Like, yeah, he lost to Chidi and Jaquani, but he got KO'd out of nowhere. I don't think he expected it. He beat Ultra Damian Bula and Abu Zaitar. But I don't know. I just don't see him. He did lose, and he basically beat Oscar Piacota. But Union Park beat him. Christoph Jocko beat him. Andrew Sanchez beat him. Hernandez, I think, will be in the club there. And he did beat Josh Fremd, and it was a good win over Josh Fremd. And he outpaced him, just beat him up. And he beat Rodolfo Vieira, who's doing alright for himself since that loss. But yeah, Kevin Holland beat him. Marcus Perez beat him. That ain't a good look, but I think he's improved. I think he'll go out there and get the job done. He beat Union Park, which Marc-Andre Barrios lost to. And Union Park's looking pretty good for himself. 28 years old, Anthony Hernandez, great cardio. I think he'll get a done decision win. 29-28. Moving on to the main card. Tanner Boser versus Rodrigo Nascimento. Tanner Boser, I think, can get this. I like Tanner Boser here. I think Tanner Boser's pretty good. I think he's actually pretty good. Lots of cancellations. Lots and lots of cancellations, but he was supposed to fight Alexander Romanov, and he was supposed to fight Nascimento and Sergey Pavlovich. But he beat Ovid St. Preux. One of the best of wins, but so Elia Latifi beat him, but that was a very close fight against Latifi. He lost, but on damage you could give it to him, but he lost the fight, I do believe, and he won against Arlovsky. I think he could have won against Arlovsky. I really do believe he could have won that fight. He beat Rafael Pessoa, beat Felipe Lins, and I think Nascimento is just not that good. He's not that good. Not good at all. I mean, he beat Alan Badal. I just don't see him. I just don't think Nascimento's that good. Like, Chris Dawkins put him away. And I think skill-wise, Boser and Dawkins in the striking realm, Boser's just a little bit more skilled, and I think he'll go out there and use some good striking. I think he'll get the job done. He did beat Dontel Mays, but we just seen Mays just lose to Hamdi Abdelwahab just recently, or like a month ago, or whatever it was. And I just don't see it going well for Nascimento. Get KO. Dawkins put him out immediately. I think Boser can as well. But against Badal, he was not really looking great early on. So yeah, moving, and he had to use roids to win. And it was popped. Moving on up the card. How do you say this name? Moidovsky versus Joseph Pyfer. Pyfer lock. I think Pyfer could be a lock here. Don't see him losing this one at all. Moidovsky is just one of those guys that just gets fed. To the contenders. Like, Krzysztof Jocko scolded him for 3 rounds. John Phillips just KO'd him, which ain't a good look. And Joseph Holmes just Renato choked him after just flying knee KOing him. If he KO'd him, then subbed him, let's be real. And he's 34, Moidovsky. And I think Joseph Pyfer's going to go out there. Look good. He has a lot of hype. I mean, he beat Ozzy Diaz on the Contender Series. He beat a 3-0 Austin Trotman as well. And he lost Dustin Stoltzfus on the Contender Series in 2020. But that was just because, and I know it's Stoltzfus, not the greatest of wins, the greatest of losses. But he hurt his arm with a slam after Stoltzfus slammed him on the ground and his arm was stuck underneath him. That kind of sucks there, a little bit gruesome. He's 25, a lot of hype. I think he'll go out there and get a quick KO in the first round. I'd say Ozzy Diaz would KO the guy that Pyfer beat. Ozzy Diaz would KO Moidovsky. So yeah, moving on to the feature fight position of the card. Andre Fili versus Bill Algie. A lot of people are taking Fili. I think Bill Algie, man. I think this guy's underrated. Like, Fili's good. I like Andre Fili. I really do. I'm gonna go to his Tapology page right now. Andre Fili is good, but he got KO'd badly by Joanderson Brito. Badly. And Pinedo, you look good against Daniel Pinedo. Look the best ever. And if he shows that against Bill Algie, he's a problem. Alright. But I just don't think he's that anymore, man. He looked alright against Bryce Mitchell, but probably I would say he arguably looked better against Mitchell than Barboza. Andre Fili. So, I know he beat Jourdain, but Jourdain ain't looking great anymore, you know? Our Charles Jourdain, I meant to say. Jourdain ain't looking good anymore. You know, Sadiq Yusuf out-grappled him. Mitchell did at moments. Shayman Moraes not that good. Miles Jury not the greatest anymore. And I just don't see it going well. I think Bill Algie is going to out-grapple him. Bill Algie was taking this on short notice. It was supposed to be Fili versus Renato. But Algie is just trying to build a name now. He's 33. The time is now, if anything. The time is now. And get it done. Like, I think he could have won against Ricardo Ramos. You know, he needed to lose. And he beat Spike Carlisle. Joanderson Brito he beat. The guy that KO'd Andre Fili round 1. And he made Herbert Burns basically quit. And, yeah. His real loss should be Ricardo Lamas, which he made that very close in a good fight, in a good scrap for 3 rounds. And yeah, he beat Ramos, I do believe. Close fight though. And I think he'll beat Andre Fili. Get the job done with the grappling. And get done 29-28. Bill Algie, split decision I'll go with. Moving on up the card to the co-main event. Chidi and Jaquani versus Gregory Rodriguez. Now, this is tough. He did get put out by Jordan Williams, but I am gonna go. I'm gonna go Rodriguez here, man. I think he's really freaking good. I think he could have won against Petrosian. I think he won that fight against Petrosian. I think he arguably won against Artem Petrosian. But Julian Marquez, he just put away. And he's back on a momentum win. I think Chidi and Jaquani is going to go out there and lose. Like, yeah, he beat Dusko Jodovic. He did beat him. And he did pull away Marc-Andre Barrios. But if him and Barrios fight again, it's going to be a different result. Maybe Chidi wins, but not like that again. I think that was just a one-time thing. I think Rodriguez will go out there and heavy grapple him first 2 rounds. And I think on the feet, he could get chinned. Jordan Williams chinned him, but I think he's improved himself. And Chidi's 33. Alright. And Gregory's 30. I know Chidi has good takedown defense, but Gregory's going to be way too strong, I think, for him. Way too strong. And I think he'll lose the third round, start to slow down. Chidi lands shots. But I think I could maybe see a draw. Rodriguez 2 10-9s in the first round for him and 10-8 in the third for Chidi. But I think the first 2 rounds, Rodriguez just grapples him, beats him up, lands some shots, win the first 2 rounds, but third round he starts to slow down. 29-28, Gregory Rodriguez. I think Gregory's good. I think he'll get the job done. Moving on at the card, though, to the main event. Corey Sandhagen versus Song Yadong. Yadong, I've thought about it. I thought about this one, and I thought in my head a lot. Yadong is a good dog. He is a dog in this fight. However, I think Sandhagen's just going to be too good for him. I really do. Like, Yadong's good, and he has that power song. Yadong, I'll make an individual prediction and breakdown vid of this tomorrow. But Sandhagen's going to be too good, I think, for him, man. He's too smart, I think. And he's too calculated, I do believe. And Corey Sandhagen did very, very, very good against Petr Yan. Did very good. Very good. Like, he did good on short notice. Like, that was a really good performance there from Corey Sandhagen. Did good. I actually had it maybe 3-2, maybe 4-1. I think it could have been maybe 4-1. But at best, maybe 3-2 Yan. First 2 rounds can go Sandhagen. Round 2, I think Yan, though. I really do believe round 2, but it was a close fight. Sandhagen was winning round 5 before Will kicked in the end. Doing well for himself, man. I think Yan's going to beat him. Not Yan. Yan already beat him. I think he's going to beat Yadong. And he fought TJ, and he won against TJ, I do believe. It was a closer fight than people think it was. Like, some people say clear Corey. It wasn't clear Corey. But it was a very close fight. 48-47 either way. But I think Sandhagen undamaged won the 5th round. And I think he's going to be... I really do believe he's going to be Song Yadong here. Like, yeah, he lost to Aljo. And that happens. He got subbed, but he beat Moraes. You know, he beat Marlon Moraes. He beat Frankie Edgar. I just don't see him beating it. I just don't see Song Yadong getting this. He's young, Song Yadong, 24 years old. I hope he wins this because it would be cool. But I just don't see him winning. Moraes, yeah, he KO'd early. But Moraes is done, I think. And Julio Arce is a good win. That's a good win. That is a good win. But that ain't Sandhagen level. You know? And Casey Kenny, yeah, he won against Casey Kenny, but I think Kenny, coming into that, was like, alright, watch out for the big punch from Yadong. And Yadong kind of tricked him with more of a skilled, patient version of Yadong there. And Yadong kind of tricked him there. And yeah, he lost to Kyler Phillips, but things happen. Gets out-grappled. I don't see Sandhagen out-grappling him. I don't see Yadong out-grappling him. So if anyone's going to grapple, I think it's going to be Yadong. I think he needs to. First 2 rounds, though, if I'm Sandhagen, I think there's only a few things to worry about. First 2 rounds, stay very... be awake. You can't be sloppy early on, because Yadong could just sleep him. Sandhagen hasn't been there in a while. So that could happen. So watch out for those 2 rounds. Be jumpy here and there. Be awoke. Like, you need to be awake for this. Like, you can't be just, like patient here and there. I think past round 2, I think he should expect some grappling from Yadong. I don't think Yadong should just try going for that KO blow all fight. If I'm him. So expect some grappling. Prepare for some flying knees here and there. So I think Yadong should be prepared for some flying knees. And yeah, he did beat Marlon Vera, but I don't see it. I don't think he won that fight against Vera. And Vera, he lost to Marlon Vera without getting dropped. And Marlon Vera ain't good skill-wise without dropping people. So that ain't good luck as well. I think Sandhagan wins. How old is Sandhagan? I think he's 29. 30 years old. Yeah, he turned on April. Yeah, I just think Sandhagan's going to beat him. Really do believe so. First 2 rounds, though, I think Yadong will do good. Maybe win the first round clear. Second round will be close, but Yadong still. Round 3, Sandhagan. Round 4, Sandhagan. Round 5, Sandhagan. Very clear. 48-47 Sandhagan. With 149-46 scorecard for him as well. I just think, they robbed him against TJ, so I don't know. I'll go 48-47 all cards. We'll see. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'll make an individual breakdown prediction vid of this tomorrow, so stay tuned for it. And yeah, he took bombs off Lineker as well. So, and this, I know it maybe can be a past the prime Lineker, past its prime Lineker, but still, Yadong. I don't even think Yadong is there yet. I think it's too soon. So yeah, I'm gonna go Sandhagan, getting this one done. Yeah, winner of this one though, versus I don't know. Now I'm doing the prediction vid, not now.